Most people will die broke. And it's not because they're lazy. It's because they never learned this. Rich people use a secret method that schools never teach us. A method so powerful that if you apply it today, you can reach levels of wealth you never thought possible. And the crazy part? There's nothing magical about it. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need money to start. You just need to understand one principle that 99% of people ignore. Their brains have been washed since childhood with the same message. Work hard. Study. Find a good job. They've drilled this into your head since day one. But here's what nobody told you. While you're working 8 hours a day for a fixed salary, others figured out how to make money, time, and people work for them. And that's where everything changes. This video will show you how to break out of the model where you trade time for money. I'm not selling you a get-rich-quick scheme. I'm showing you a mechanism. This is what lets entrepreneurs generate in 1 month what employees earn in a year. This turns every dollar into 10. And you're about to discover why 99% of people stay stuck despite years of effort, what levers the top 1% use that nobody taught you, and how to start from zero. No network, no degree. No luck required. If this sounds like what you've been looking for, hit that like button right now. And subscribe, because this gets deep. Let's go. Chapter 2. Why hard work doesn't make you rich. We've been told it's rich versus poor, the eternal battle, the powerful against the people. But that's completely wrong. The real battle isn't rich against poor. It's those who understand leverage against those who still believe only hard work pays off. Look at the numbers, and you'll see why 99% of people stay stuck. Since we were kids, they told us the same story. Work hard in school, find a good job, do overtime if you want more money. It became a religion. The promise of the American dream, work your way up from the bottom. It's burned into our brains as absolute truth. Except reality proves it doesn't work. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, productivity has exploded since the 1,980 seconds. Every hour of work produces way more value than before, but salaries today, stagnating. Worse, in many cases, declining when you account for inflation. The Wall Street Journal reported that median wages in America have barely kept pace with inflation over 3 decades. The only stable incomes? Federal employees. That's money the government redistributes from your taxes. And that's just for people lucky enough to have stable jobs. For the middle and working classes, it's worse. Purchasing power has been flat for over 30 years. You work more, you produce more, but your bank account doesn't grow. Meanwhile, there's one category doing great. Those who own capital. The rich. Here's a quote from economist Thomas Piketty. Capital income growth far exceeds labor income growth. What does that mean in plain English? Income from houses, businesses, and investments grows way faster than income from your salary. Bottom line, it's not the hours you spend at the office that make you rich. It's what you own. A rental property, generating passive income. Stocks paying dividends. A business running while you sleep. Here's the stat that proves it. In the United States, median home prices have more than tripled since 2000. Median wages only increased 25 to 30%. See the trap? They sold you work as the solution, but the real key is capital. Chapter 3. The capital versus time equation. Let me give you a simple example. An employee earning $3,000 per month saves 10% every month. How long to accumulate $100,000? 28 years. Now take a passive income earner receiving $5,000 per month from assets. How long to bank that same $100,000? Just 20 months, without lifting a finger. That's the snowball effect. The more you own, the faster it grows. Result? Inequalities widen. Not because rich people work harder, but because they learned to make their money work for them. The OECD published a clear report. In the United States, the richest 10% earn about 9 times more than the poorest 10%. And the gap keeps growing. Not because they exploit the poor. Stop with that nonsense. It's because they use levers most people ignore. Now here's where it gets interesting. Drop a comment right now. What's been holding you back from building wealth? I read every single one. Let's keep going. Chapter 4. The Victim versus Builder Mentality. What I'm telling you isn't theory. This is scientific fact. We've been taught about the value of hard work. They teach us to be good employees, but never to use levers. Nobody explains that rich people don't sell their time. They grow their money to buy time. Nobody explains that your salary has a ceiling, but capital, no ceiling. It grows infinitely. We walk around thinking it's us against them, when the real divide isn't rich and poor. It's between those who sell their time and those who own levers. Salaries stagnate. That's proven. Capital explodes. That's documented. The gaps widen decade after decade. So the real question isn't, do rich people steal from the poor? The question is, why do most people refuse to learn the rules of the game? And here's where everything shifts. If you look at the numbers, you understand it's not inevitable. Yes, there's a mechanism. No, it's not unfair. It's logical. But some people prefer to complain about inequality rather than take action. They yell that the rich steal from the poor while they can't even balance a checkbook. They dream of a world where everyone earns the same without producing anything. And their solution? Always the same. Tax. Redistribute. Break those who succeed to protect those who fail. It's the mentality of dependency, extending your hand instead of learning to build. They talk about social justice. But what they really want is for everyone to be as poor and dependent as them. The hatred of the rich isn't a political stance. It's pure jealousy. But here's the truth. Wealth doesn't follow linear logic, where you work more and earn more. It follows exponential logic, and it's based on one simple mechanism: leverage. Chapter 5. The 5 types of leverage. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how leverage works, with real examples, and more importantly, how you can start the machine. But remember this: if you keep selling your time, you'll never earn more than what someone's willing to pay for an hour of your life. But if you use leverage, 1 hour of your time can generate income for years. That's the difference between staying poor and becoming free. So let me break down the 5 types of leverage you can use starting today. Want to know why some rich people work less while others grind 50 hours a week and still struggle? It comes down to one principle: leverage. Imagine you need to lift a car with your bare hands. Impossible, right? But grab a metal bar and use it as a lever? Suddenly you can lift it. Your body didn't change. Your strength is the same. But with a lever, your effort multiplies. Money works exactly the same way. Without leverage, your work is limited. You trade time for money. With leverage, your time, energy, and ideas take on infinitely greater value. That's what the rich figured out. Let me show you the 5 levers. Lever 1. Money. First lever, money. Money attracts money. You've heard that phrase. But here's what it really means. When you earn your first dollars, you can spend them immediately, like 90% of people, or you can reinvest them to generate even more. That's the basic mechanism. Money working for you. Simple example. Put $1,000 in a high-yield savings account at 4% per year. Doesn't sound like much, but in 18 years, you've doubled your money doing absolutely nothing. Now imagine investing at 10, 15, or 20% per year. That's what people who invest in business, real estate, or stocks do. The difference is massive. Instead of buying new Jordans with your first paycheck, use it as leverage. That leverage compounds. It grows and grows. Lever 2. Skills. Second lever. Skills. Anyone can use this. You don't need to be rich. You don't need capital. Think about someone who started freelancing. They learned how to code, edit videos, or write persuasive copy. Within months, they're earning more than their old boss. Why? They used a simple lever, a rare skill. A minimum wage worker spends 5 years at the same company. Salary barely moves. A copywriter, marketer, developer, or video editor, they can 10x their income in that same period. Why? Because skill is leverage. It doesn't take more time than another job, but the perceived value is way higher, and it's accessible to everyone. You can learn profitable skills on YouTube, through online courses, or just by practicing. Costs almost nothing, but it can transform your life. Lever 3. Technology. Third lever, technology. Today, the most powerful leverage is the internet. Make one video. It can be seen by 10 people, or 10,000, or 100,000. The time you spend creating it? Same. But the impact? Totally different. One TikTok or YouTube video can change your life. One e-commerce site runs while you sleep. One well-made ad sells to thousands without you behind the screen. Before, selling a product meant talking to everyone, convincing people one by one. Today, one video, one ad, one online store. You reach the entire country. That's the leverage of technology. And I haven't even mentioned AI yet. Lever 4. Systems. Fourth lever. Systems. A system is when you create a machine that works for you. Your business is no longer you. It's no longer your time. It's a set of processes, rules, and automation generating cash even when you're gone. Example, a regular restaurant. If the owner doesn't show up, it doesn't open. McDonald's? That's a machine. Everything runs with or without the owner. See the difference? The first works in the business. The second works on the business. That changes everything. Lever 5. People. Fifth lever. People. This is the oldest lever in the world. You can delegate. Pay people to do things for you. Use your time to think bigger, to develop the machine. That's how you go from freelancer doing everything yourself to running an agency with 10 people working for you. That's how you multiply income without multiplying hours. Quick question. Which of these 5 levers makes the most sense to you? Comment below. Money, skills, tech, systems, or people. I want to know. Chapter 6. Real-world examples. Let me give you some examples so this clicks. There are countless stories of people who figured this out. Someone working a regular job loses it unexpectedly. Instead of finding another job, they take what they know and put it online. Maybe it's teaching content. Maybe it's a service. Maybe it's a product. Within months, they're making more than their old salary. Within a year or two, they've built something that generates income, whether they're working or not. That's leverage in action. Or think about the freelancer who starts small, gets a few clients, charges $50 an hour, then realizes they can package their service differently. Instead of hourly, they charge $2,000 per project, then $5,000. Then they hire someone to help deliver the work. Now they're not trading time for money anymore. They've built a system. The income keeps growing, but the hours don't. That's what happens when you understand these principles. Pause for a second if you're still here. You're already different from 99% of people. Most stopped watching 5 minutes ago. So let me ask you, do you want to keep living by someone else's rules? Or finally start building your own system? Comment, I'm done trading time for money, if you're serious, and let's move to the next level. Chapter 7. Common mistakes. Here's where 90% of people fail. They think you need to already be rich to use leverage. Wrong. They think you need to be a genius. Wrong. They think it's too risky. But the real risk is staying stuck in the salary model without considering other options. Yes, being salaried is good for security. But if you want to get rich and become financially free, you need external solutions that let you grow. The only real danger? Trying nothing. Now you're probably asking, okay, I get the principle, but where do I actually start? That's exactly what we're covering next. Chapter 8. The 5-step cycle. I'm going to show you 5 concrete steps to trigger the snowball effect. This method works whether you have $100, $1,000, or nothing at all. So far, you've understood 2 things. First, pure work doesn't make you rich. Second, rich people use levers, but knowing levers exist isn't enough. You need to know how to use them. Let me explain what I call the cycle of compound returns. 5 simple steps anyone can follow. Follow this path, and you go from someone chasing money to someone whose money chases them. Step 1. Create capital. First, you need to create cash. No inheritance? Didn't win the lottery? Then you need to generate your own cash. How? With a business, a monetizable skill, an income source you control. Could be an agency, online store, side hustle, whatever. The goal isn't getting rich at this stage. The goal is generating your first cash machine. That's the starting point. Because without cash flow, you have nothing to reinvest. And without reinvestment, you're stuck like a hamster on a wheel. The best cash machine today, especially if you have a job, is starting a business. You can launch it without risk, a few hours per day, and it creates real cash flow. Step 2. Reinvest in the machine. Once you have cash, reinvest in the machine. Most people blow money on cars, new iPhones, vacations. No. At this stage, your goal isn't consumption, it's reinvestment. Every dollar from your cash machine must feed the machine to make it grow. Invest in ads, better tools, delegation, automation. Create a loop where every dollar invested brings back 2. This is using the leverage effects we talked about earlier. Instead of taking money out, put it back into growing the system. That's how the snowball starts rolling. Step 3. Abundance of capital. Eventually, investing in your machine stops helping because you hit a plateau. Your business runs. It generates enough cash. This is abundance of capital. Strange feeling. For the first time, you don't need to pump everything back into your business. You can take it out, place it elsewhere. That's when you understand what the rich mean by diversification. You're no longer in survival mode, no longer building. You're allocating capital. And that triggers step 4. Step 4. Secure with assets. Many people want to start here. But the problem? They don't have enough income for it to be profitable. If you earn $4,000 or $5,000 per month and invest, you won't have much to work with. First, create an income source generating $10,000 to $15,000 plus per month. That's possible with leverage. Once you have that level of cash flow, then you secure it. How? By placing your capital in assets. And what are assets? Everything that puts money in your pocket, even when you're not working. Real estate, dividend stocks, bonds, solid businesses. You're securing capital because assets don't make you rich. They protect your wealth. This is how you make sure the money you've earned keeps working for you forever. Step 5. Optimize your taxes. This is the last barrier. Now, you have lots of income and investments. If you organize poorly, the IRS catches up and taxes everything. If you don't understand taxation, you can lose 30, 40, even 50% of what you earn. The rich aren't smarter than you. They just learn the rules. LLCs, S-corps, trusts, tax-advantaged accounts, international structures, state optimization. There are thousands of legal ways to optimize your capital's taxation. Once you understand that, you stop being a cash cow. You become a player who keeps what they earn. If you're still watching, you're part of the 1% who actually wants to change their life. Leave a comment saying, "I'm in," so I know you're serious. Chapter 9, The Ultimate Reward. And that's when you reach the summit, the ultimate reward of leverage. When you've created cash flow, reinvested to grow your machine, reached capital abundance, secured it in assets, and optimized taxes, you arrive at what I call compound returns. What is it? Money producing money. And that money producing more money. It's a snowball growing with every turn. The beautiful part? This loop no longer depends on your time. You don't need to work more to earn more. You don't even need to work hard to earn a lot. You work smart. Lay foundations. Then your levers work for you. That's the secret. It's not that they're smarter or more talented or work harder than you. They triggered this mechanism before you did. They understood the goal isn't chasing a salary. It's building a machine that frees your time and grows while you sleep. That's compound returns. Real luxury? Waking up, knowing you could do nothing today and your money would still work for you behind the scenes. That's freedom. Chapter 10. The Exponential Effect. We believe money is earned little by little. Slow accumulation, like a straight line rising inch by inch. But that's wrong. Money doesn't follow a straight line. It follows an exponential curve. The snowball effect. Imagine throwing a tiny snowball from the top of a mountain. At first, it rolls slowly. Tiny. Looks like it'll stop. But with each turn, it grows, gains speed, becomes heavier, more massive. At the end, almost an avalanche. That's exactly what happens with money when you reinvest intelligently. Albert Einstein said, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it enriches himself. He who doesn't pays it." Because compound interest works like this. Every dollar you earn doesn't just work today. It works tomorrow, the day after, in 10 years. And the gains generated? They work for you too. It's an infinite loop. This is how massive fortunes are built, starting from nothing. Most wealthy people didn't start rich, but they understood compound returns early and let time do the heavy lifting. Not magic, not chance. Time, like a plantation. First years, nothing seems to grow. But once it germinates, it becomes a forest. Chapter 11. The Power of Time. Think about someone who starts investing young. Maybe they're 25. They put away $500 per month into investments averaging 10% returns. By age 65, they have over $3 million. Now compare that to someone who waits until 40 to start. Same $500 per month. Same 10% returns. By 65, only $380,000. The first person invested for 40 years, the second for 25 years. But the difference isn't just 15 years, it's millions of dollars. Why? Because the early years compound the most. The money from year 1 has 40 years to grow. The money from year 20 only has 20 years. Time is the multiplier. Here's the brutal truth. An employee earning $3,000 per month with 2% annual raises sees income grow slowly, linear, predictable, but it plateaus. An entrepreneur or investor who reinvests profits in assets, income grows exponentially. They don't just earn on work, they earn on the gains of their gains. That changes everything. If this makes sense so far, drop a number 789 inches the comments. That's how I know you're still following. Chapter 12. Why people fail. Maybe you're wondering, why doesn't everyone do this? Because the snowball effect is invisible at the beginning. That's the trap. First years, you see nothing. You work, reinvest. Looks like a drop in the ocean. You say, all that for this? And many quit. They spend what they earn, want quick results. But those who hold on, who persist, who keep reinvesting year after year, they're the ones who see the ball grow, and once it starts, nothing stops it. This is what separates those who build wealth from those who stay stuck. The stuck ones are looking for the lottery ticket, the quick win, the overnight success. But wealth builders understand it's a process. They start small. Make their first $1,000. Reinvest it. Make $2,000. Reinvest that. Each cycle gets bigger. Each turn of the wheel moves faster. After a few years, the machine is humming. After a decade, it's unstoppable. That's not luck. That's understanding the game. Let me tell you a secret. The system needs you to quit early. Because the moment you push past that invisible wall, the game flips. The same world that ignored you suddenly starts chasing you. So ask yourself, are you quitting before the magic happens? Chapter 13. The Exponential Mindset. Human brains aren't built to understand exponentials. The real problem? Our brains think in straight lines. You tell someone, double your money every year and you'll be rich. They smile but don't believe it, because they imagine linear progression. But reality is totally different. Start with $1,000. Double every year. In 10 years, over $1 million. That's exponential power. The big problem today? Everyone wants everything now. Rich in 6 months. Lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks. Immediate results. That's why most people fail. The snowball effect doesn't reward impatience. It rewards discipline. Discipline to reinvest. Discipline to wait. Discipline to let time work. Chapter 14. Starting from zero. If you want to win, understand this. The first step is hardest. Your first thousands of dollars are the most difficult to generate. That's the reality. Building from zero to your first $10,000 saved is harder than going from $10,000 to $100,000. And that's harder than going from $100,000 to $1 million. Because at zero, you have no momentum, no leverage, no system. You're trading pure time for money. But once you break through that first barrier and build some capital, everything accelerates. Because at a certain point, it's not your efforts creating wealth anymore. It's wealth creating wealth. Now, maybe you're saying, okay, but how do I start from zero? I don't have capital, no network, no business, no investor. Excellent question. And the answer is simple. Start with yourself, because you are the only lever you control. 100%. You can't decide stock market direction, can't control real estate prices, can't influence taxation. But one thing you can control right now, your skills. That's where everything begins. The first capital isn't money, it's you. Chapter 15. Skills as capital. We think to get started, you need money. Completely false. The real first capital is your skills. Well-chosen skills let you generate money without starting capital. Open opportunities others never get. Build a business with zero risk. Good news? Today's skills don't require 10 years of study. You can learn them in months, sometimes weeks. Many successful entrepreneurs started exactly this way. They failed initially, launched projects without understanding basics, lost time. But when they finally launched something successful, they had learned a fundamental skill. Often, it's marketing. That changes everything, because marketing is the foundation. With marketing, you can sell your own products or services, sell other people's products, even sell marketing services to businesses. Marketing opens all doors. Chapter 16. Why marketing? Marketing is a universal skill. Everything revolves around it today. Good product without marketing doesn't sell. Bad product with excellent marketing sells like hotcakes for a while. Then collapses because it's bad. But here's the key. There's gigantic demand. Look around. All businesses, from small shops to Fortune 500 companies, need marketing. All want customers. All want to sell more. And the truth? 90% have no idea how. That's where you come in. Chapter 17. 3 ways to monetize marketing. Once you master marketing, 3 ways to monetize. 1. Sell your own product. Launch e-commerce, online course, ebook, app, SaaS, whatever. You know how to find customers and make them buy. That's a superpower. Sell services. Become a freelancer. Start an agency. Help businesses generate customers. Believe me, when you bring revenue to a business, they don't look at the cost. You can charge $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 per month just by bringing value. Sell other people's products, affiliate marketing, recommend products, earn commission on sales. No inventory, no shipping, just your marketing talent. Now do you see why marketing is the best skill to learn first? Chapter 18. Your action plan. Maybe you're asking, how do I learn marketing? No need for a $50,000 business school. Learn online for free or with targeted courses. But careful, don't just learn theory. You must practice, test, apply. That's how you get good, by doing marketing, not reading about it. Here's what I recommend. Start with basics. Learn to write copy that makes people buy. That's copywriting. Learn to create content that attracts. Content marketing. Learn online advertising, Facebook ads, Google ads, TikTok ads. Learn to build websites and sales pages that convert. These skills, learn them in months, and they're worth gold. Now, imagine you're here today with nothing, No money, no product, no capital. What do you do to launch your first cash flow business? First, learn a profitable skill: marketing, copywriting, advertising. Then sell that skill. As a freelancer or starting an agency, contact local businesses, offer to manage ads, create websites, write email campaigns, whatever. Just start. Then use that cash flow to reinvest in ads, content, automation. Little by little, transform your freelance activity into a business. Go from I sell my time to I sell a system that runs. That's the path forward. Chapter 19. Why online business? And that's why you should launch an online business. It's the best way to get started today. No physical location needed. No inventory, no team. Just a computer and internet connection. That changes everything. Because you can start now. Online business advantages. Low entry cost. Launch with $100. Unlimited scale. Sell to one person or 10,000 without extra effort. Total flexibility. Work from anywhere, anytime. Global market access. Not just your city, the entire planet. So if you want your first cash flow source, launch an online business. Chapter 20. The market opportunity. And demand for marketing is exploding. Here's a stat. According to HubSpot, 61% of businesses say their biggest challenge is generating traffic and leads, not creating products, not hiring. Finding customers. See the opportunity? If you can find customers for them with marketing, you become the person solving their biggest problem, and they'll pay for that. If you know Facebook ads and contact a struggling restaurant, offer to manage ads for $1,500 per month. You bring 30 new customers. Those customers bring them $6,000. Think they'll pay you again next month? Obviously. Now imagine doing this for 5 restaurants. You earn $7,500 per month. You don't need to be a genius. Just learn a skill and apply it. That's how it starts. 1 client, then 2, 3, several. You create cash flow, reinvest, automate. One day you realize you're not chasing money anymore. Money is chasing you. All right, pause for a second. If you've made it this far, you're serious about this. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button because I post videos like this every week showing you exactly how to build wealth. Chapter 21. Just start. Here's the key. Start small. But start. The biggest trap? Waiting for the perfect moment. You want to know everything before launching. Want to be 100% ready. That's a mistake. You'll never have all the answers. You can start with 1 skill, 1 service, 1 client. That's the first step, triggering the snowball. Remember what I told you. Compound returns aren't magic. It starts with first cash flow. Then you reinvest. Then it grows. And it all starts with you. Your ability to develop yourself. Learn. Apply. Sell. Chapter 22. Work less, work better. Society loves to judge. Say you want to work less, they call you lazy. But working less isn't refusing effort. It's refusing to work below your true value. It's refusing to spend 35 years selling hours for a salary that doesn't follow inflation. It's refusing to sacrifice your days, evenings, dreams to fill someone else's pockets. Working less means working better, using levers, building systems, letting money work for you. That's not lazy, that's intelligent. Remember this. Wealth isn't about money. Wealth is about choice. Being rich isn't having a Lamborghini. Being rich is being able to say no. No to a toxic boss. No to suffocating schedules. No to a life you endure. True wealth is control of your time, and time is the only thing you never get back. The rich buy time. Chapter 23. The truth about wealth. The path to wealth is clearer than most people think. It's not about working harder. It's not about getting lucky. It's not about exploiting others or cutting corners. It's about understanding leverage. It's about building systems. It's about making your money work for you instead of working for money. Thousands of people figure this out every year. They start from zero, build their first income stream, reinvest intelligently, compound their returns, and within years, not decades, they've built real wealth, not lottery ticket wealth, not inheritance wealth, earned wealth, built wealth, sustainable wealth. Chapter 24. Take action now. You now understand the truth. Wealth does not belong to those who simply work the hardest, but to those who work with leverage, who build systems, who invest in themselves, and let time and capital multiply their effort. At this moment, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads back to comfort, habits, and the routine you already know. Scroll, distract yourself, hope life changes on its own. The other path is harder in the beginning, but extraordinary in the end. It demands discipline, learning new skills, building the first cash machine, reinvesting, growing, repeating. And then one day, you wake up realizing you no longer chase money. Money chases you. That is real freedom. Not cars, not status. Freedom over your time. Freedom to choose. Freedom to build life on your terms. So ask yourself, will you return to ordinary? Or will you begin designing the life you truly want? If this message opened your eyes today, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because when one person breaks the cycle, the world shifts a little. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next chapter of your journey. Until then, keep learning, keep building, and keep buying back your time.